New draw. Vincent, I knew it. I was just talking about Vincent the other day, and I was just like, man, Vincent's featured kit is not very good. And then literally the first featured banner after anniversary. This is a dope outfit, by the way. That's gonna get some people hype. That's gonna get some people hype. All right, let's talk about the new Vincent banner, and we're gonna look at the aesthetics first, which is just wild. Wild. That's crazy. Yeah, and look at all like the straps and belts. I love this little, like, it's kind of like a banner thing he's got going on in the back here with the cape kind of split off. Obviously the horns are dope. The claws are really cool. The gun looks sick. Yeah, this is crazy, isn't it? It's wild. Got the horns going on here too. Got the little mask. Of everything that's in here is just like, the boots are pretty average. The boots are pretty average. Everything else is great though. That's sick. That's sick. All right, let's jump into the weapon. We've got Galian Roar. Chaos Claw. It's a magic non-elemental damage 3 ATB. Does enfeeble on a single enemy. Does a magic defense down low to mid. And a magic attack increase all allies low to mid. With magic attack and magic ability potency. 6. Does that mean that's gonna be 62? It'll be, yeah, hell yes it is. Ain't no way OB1 is 42. That's gonna be a 62 magic attack for sure. For sure, for sure. OB1 enfeeble goes to 30 seconds. Still low to mid, still low to mid. OB6, we've got mid to high magic defense. Mid to high magic attack, that's great. This is great. OB10, still mid to high, still mid to high. Enfeeble goes all the way up to 60 seconds. That's great. And an 800% magic attack's pretty good for 3 ATB. That's not better like magic damage than his 4 ATB Hugin Immunin, but in terms of a per ATB, the damage is not low. And this enfeeble for 60 seconds is great. Magic defense down mid to high with a magic attack all allies mid to high is great. This is a great weapon. 62 magic attack and 42 magic ability potency is good. Solid materia slots, it's a good weapon. It's a good weapon. It doesn't really solve the quote-unquote issue that Vincent has, which is that his 2 best builds are Magic Lightning, which is, this would work really well for, right? And Physical Fire, right? Then he also has 2 limited weapons, which has Magic Earth and Physical Ice. But if you didn't pull for those, then he only does Physical Fire and Magic Lightning. That's it, right? And this doesn't really change that at all. What this does is it amplifies the crap out of his magic builds. Like all 3 of them, or all 2 of them, sorry, are just, this is a significant upgrade, right? For his offhand weapon. Especially the Earth build, because the Earth build has a magic attack all allies weapon, and the 62 points of magic attack is something that he sorely wants, right? Sorely wants. And with a much better magic ability potency than Hugin Immunin had, and Hugin Immunin was usually the weapon that you were putting in his offhand for the 62 magic attack. At least that was what I was doing. Or the Kugelblitz for his Earth build specifically. But if you don't have the Kugelblitz at a high overboost, this is also still really good. But I think this is going to be his main offhand weapon for his lightning build going forward. I can't imagine he'd be using anything else. Like always with featured weapons are weapons that are added into the draw pool afterwards, meaning that you'll be able to get it with tickets, you'll be able to get it with the wish list moving forward. So because that's the case, we never pull on a featured banner for the weapon, we always pull on it for the actual outfit. The outfit itself has buff debuff extension plus 15, noting that this is not buff debuff extension plus, meaning that this is a weapon R ability, and much like I said before, weapon R abilities are usually easy to obtain because you can get them from weapons, so you don't normally want them on your outfits. However, 15 points does get you up to an 80% break, which allows him to focus on DPSing, and so I'm not mad at this one specifically. This one increases the duration of his buffs and debuffs by 80% without needing any other weapons, which is pretty good. And then the inner turmoil is when granting magic defense down, max potency +1 tier, and then 20% magic damage. It's solid, right? It's solid. So this means that Vincent is able to get -4 magic defense instead of -1 with this outfit. And then obviously 20% damage is 20% damage. It's all right. Yep. Right? It's all right. Like every tier of magic defense down ends up being a 10% boost to damage. So this is essentially, you can consider this a 10% boost to any magic damage that he's, or for magic defense down that he's applying. But much like I said, this is really only going to be used on 2 builds. And for magic earth and magic lightning, it's fine, right? It's fine. And obviously it'll help him increase that magic attack damage that he's dealing. But in general, I think it's niche-y, right? It's not bad. It's a good effect. And obviously all of the ones that have extra tier potencies, much like Tifa's weapon, right? That increases potencies. It's still very good. But this does involve you using that attack twice, which means that you're using Vincent's 6 ATB for Vincent to lower magic defense instead of dealing damage. And he is a damage dealer. So anytime you're trying to move away, this is the same conversation I had with Yuffie's outfit when the Watch of the Hunt came out, right? Anytime you're trying to use your DPS for anything other than DPS, you better have a damn good reason to do so. This is a good reason. +1 magic defense down is a great reason. But again, it's okay, right? It's good for the stages that you want that extra magic defense down, like high score challenges, battle ranking events, the max damage challenges, etc. And outside of that, it's pretty niche-y, right? So definitely a solid outfit, though. I don't think it's bad. If you wanted to pull on it, I wouldn't blame you. But again, I think this one is significantly worse than most of the other anniversary outfits that are out right now. So if you have not gotten the anniversary outfits, I think I'd still recommend pulling on those banners before this one. And a reminder that the Final Fantasy 13 event is coming out in November, and that's another crossover. And crossovers do not come back very often, right? We've had Final Fantasy 6 and 9 rerun, so I'm not saying that 13 never will, but crossover banners like Monster Hunter and stuff like that, we've not seen rerun often or at all. So just keep that in mind with your resources as you're trying to save up for both anniversary and for upcoming events, because the Nier event is in December as well. And if you're free to play, crystals do come through events and stuff like that, but you do want to build up over time in order to be able to pull on those banners, right? So if you're spent right now for anniversary, I would just say that this is a great outfit. It's not perfect, but it's still pretty solid, and I would just move on. In terms of the wish list, pretty cut and dry for this one. It would just include Vincent's major weapons. So both of his major damage dealing weapons are Holiday Garm, which is his fire weapon, and Crow Familiar, which is his lightning weapon. I would include both of those on this wish list. You could convince me that Kugelblitz is probably required on this wish list as well. Mostly just because the magic defense debuff that Kugelblitz does is high to high. And with the outfit, remember that it gives a +1 tier. So you still have to cast this twice, which is kind of a bummer, but like it's there, and it's an AoE one. So if you need AoE, this is a good AoE option. Plus this increases his earth damage, which is nice for the stages that you have to do earth DPS if you've got his limited weapon. If you don't have his limited weapon, I would say you could leave this off. The new weapon kind of fills that role without needing the earth damage anymore. The rest of his items, I think the only other weapon that I would include would be the sawed-off GS, mostly because this is not only a good offhand weapon for Vincent, it's a great sub-weapon with 56 boost magic ability potency at OB10, so I think I would include this as well. And then other than that, I would just include recently released featured weapons, right? So if you don't have Osafune at a high overboost level, I'd include this on here as well. Masamune, I think we all have at OB10 at this point, and if you don't, you likely will. So I wouldn't include that on the wish list. But much like the other builds, like you're looking for another magic lightning damage weapon. God, I mean, what would you even pick here? Probably Angeal CCL at Greatsword. Not that Greatsword, the other Greatsword, this one. There you go. This one does 900% magic lightning damage. It's an option at least, right? Last two wish list slots are basically whatever you want. But yeah, this one's pretty easy, man. This one's pretty easy. I think this is an easy skip for me. I don't think I would go too deep into this banner at all. And I'll check the wish list or the stamp card just to be sure. Yeah. So you do get 2 free copies guaranteed. And then obviously once you get to the outfit, you get to the outfit. And notably, now we do get those medals, but keep in mind that this is a featured weapon. We are going to get this to OB2 or higher very easily over time, right? Yeah, it does seem that way, doesn't it? Doesn't it? The last 3 featured weapons that he's had released, of the last 3, Holiday Garm was the one that was really good, right? Was a physical fire weapon, but it came out right after the Final Fantasy VI crossover. So we were all kind of broke, right? And so we kind of had to skip that one too, which sucked. And then when Kugelblitz came out right after the Tifa and Aerith New Year's banner dropped. So we couldn't afford that either. And then Rebirth event was right around the corner in between. It was stuck in between those 2 events, right? And now here's Vincent again, stuck in between 2 events with a weapon that's good and an outfit that's okay, but like we're not really in a spot to invest in it. So kind of a bummer, but that it is what it is, right? It is what it is. They've got to put characters somewhere, right? But yeah, solid weapon. I'm grateful that it's in the featured pool, so we'll be able to pull on it later on. But for right now, I think this is a pretty easy skip for me. Pretty easy skip.